If you have OSHA compliance questions or concerns, Pike Group's got you covered.
Hey, welcome to Head First Fishing. Thanks for coming to today's video. Today we're going to be doing some discussion, and we're going to be talking about the current situation with manufacturing and logistics chain, supply and demand, and all the stuff's going on, and how that's affecting fishing, how that's affecting my charter business. This is something that's really serious. It's affecting everything in the country. We're having serious problems with supply chain and getting the products we need, the products we depend on to live our lives at the standard that we expect. So again, thanks for coming to the video. Before we get started, I'd like to thank our sponsors, St. Pete Fishing Outfitters, Tampa Fishing Outfitters, and Tarpon Fishing Outfitters, plus the Pike Consulting Group, OSHA Safety Consultants. I want to thank them for sponsoring Head First Fishing and make all these fishing trips and big videos possible. Big shout out to them. Go check them out. But anyway, let's get into it. Let's get into this whole thing with the supply chain, with COVID and all that. So basically, we're dealing with a situation where we have an Armageddon of sorts when it comes to getting what we need. Right now, we can't get what we need, or we can't get enough fast enough into the American supply chain, and this is affecting everyone. We're dealing with huge inflation. It would seem that there's a lot of products coming in, yet at the same time there is a lot of products at a standstill. So according to what I'm reading, there's an unprecedented amount of products being ordered, but we're having a problem getting that to the consumer and getting that out to retailers and all that. So I've got a couple of videos I want to show you, and I'm going to give you kind of a quick rundown of what's going on, but it's pretty wild. And before we do that, I definitely want to mention it's hurt my business, this whole supply chain thing. So let's go ahead and fire this video up right here. Let's go ahead and...
Well, you don't have to look far to see how much the pandemic has driven up the cost of goods and services. And part of the problem is a sea of trouble at the ports of Los Angeles and Long Beach that handle 40% of the nation's imports. Here's CBS's Carter Evans.
It's an LA traffic jam in the Pacific. Tonight, a record 70 cargo ships carrying everything from furniture and electronics to holiday toys are just waiting to get into the ports of LA and Long Beach.
What you're seeing now is an advance of the Christmas season.
LA Port Director Gene Soroka says shipping traffic is up 50% from pre-pandemic levels.
That's incredible.
The American consumer's buying strength is so strong and epic that we can't absorb all this cargo into the domestic supply chain.
What does that mean for the average consumer?
That means you're not going to find the product you want as quickly as normal. If you're shopping for the holidays, start now.
So it would seem that there's been so many people at home and they're just buying stuff online, buying stuff like crazy, and maybe even an uptick in retail buying at physical locations. But definitely online is for sure. And there's not enough capacity to deliver all this stuff, and a lot of it's just getting backed up, and it's just a mountain of backup. It's pretty crazy.
When buyers wiped out Tony Yabica's inventory last year, he immediately ordered 100 new bikes. Where are all the bikes right now?
Well, I'd imagine some of them are on the ships right out here in San Pedro. It is frustrating because you can look down into the harbor and see all the containers that are stacked 5-6 high.
That's because there's a shortage of trucks and drivers to pick up the goods.
There are really, on average, about 16 available truckload shipments for every available truck to move product out of there.
So we have a new record level of shipment coming in, and we have a shortage of truck drivers, possibly even port workers, because of COVID-19. It's pretty crazy.
Westerfeld, CEO of shipping logistics company C.H. Robinson, says major retailers are paying for planes to fly in goods from overseas. Some are even chartering entire container ships.
And that's something that, frankly, we've just never seen before. We expect there will be more bare shelves for the holiday season this year than people may be accustomed to.
Get ready. It's not going to be like it's not going to be like what you've been used to most of your life here in America. It's going to be less of what you want. We're used to being able to have what we want basically on demand. I can't recall too many times in my life where I wasn't able to get a product that I wanted, a product that was advertised, known, available. You could just go get it. And now we're at a point where a lot of really essential things that you need for society to run are not available. So case in point, my boat, critical boat parts are not available. I recently had my lower unit fail for whatever reason, whether it cracked and all the lubrication went out of the gear case, I hit something, or if someone just maybe sabotaged it, drained the oil out. For whatever reason, it lost oil. I went out on a fishing trip. Didn't suspect too much at first. It kind of sounded funny, but as the day went on, it got worse. And on my way back to the marina, the gear case blew up. So I've been without a gear case for over a month now, and it's extremely hard to get the parts to fix it. There's only a few good new lower units around, but those go about $4,000 to $4,200, brand new. Those are hard to come by. It's hard to come by good used lower units right now because they're so in demand. People are snatching them up left and right. You can find a few left-hand rotation lower units, but for the engine that I have, that's not going to work. So it's definitely a tough situation for sure. I've been waiting for parts and I cannot get them. So I'm looking at buying a kind of an unknown aftermarket lower unit that's here locally, and we'll have to see if it works out and cross my fingers. But this whole situation has caused me to lose thousands of dollars of business. I've missed out on repeat customers. So this supply chain thing is serious. It's serious. It's affecting all kinds of people, across the economy.
Even next year's holiday gifts may be in jeopardy. The economic logjam could continue until the end of 2022. Carter Evans, CBS News, Los Angeles.
Jeez.
Southwest Airlines, which is experiencing date.
So anyway, that gives you a little snapshot of what's going on. Let's jump over here. Now, to make matters worse, all these ships sitting off of the port of LA on the West Coast, I'm not sure they've ever had anything like that happen. So now there's an oil spill. There's oil pipelines that come into the port. And because all these ships are sitting there waiting, they don't have the type of dynamic positioning systems that other sophisticated ships have. I used to work on big ships for about 7 years, and I'm familiar with those systems. So basically, it's like GPS guided navigation that can hold your ship in a position. It's got bow thrusters and stern thrusters or azimuths or whatever, and you can just sit there in one spot. But these big cargo ships, they don't have that, so they have to anchor up in deep water. With oil pipelines being down there and so many ships being parked off the coast, it may have just been a matter of time before one of these anchors went down and struck a pipeline. So now we've got this oil spill here. So this is making things even more difficult, especially, I'm sure, with all the strict environmental regulations and, all that that's going on over there. Not that, oil spills are no big deal in other places in the country. It's very serious, but I imagine that they're even tighter over there. But anyway, you can see right here, as many as 3,000 barrels of crude oil into the ocean off Orange County. About 4,000 feet of pipeline had been moved 105 feet from its original position, and divers found a 13-inch split in the line that's likely the source of the release. So this is just making matters worse. This is just gasoline on the fire, this oil spill. So, it's coming to a point for a lot of people where they just got to figure out what they're going to do. Is there a way to adapt your business? Can you overcome the supply chain problem? That's something you're thinking about now. And I don't think we've ever seen anything like this in our history. So anyway, figuring out how to get parts, what's a good move for my business, how to get the boat back running again. This is something that I've been dealing with. And hopefully I can find a good solution here soon. I can get the parts I need. That way I can be back up and running. And I definitely don't want to miss out on, next year, early, late winter is really when fishing kicks off around here. So I need to have that ready. And we're getting into fall here, and we're in fall now. And, you know, it's okay if I'm not fishing a lot right now, but I definitely can't miss the pop that happens between late February and July. And we missed July fishing here this year because of the red tide. The red tide was terrible. So one of the difficult things about being a business owner and life is dealing with multiple different problems coming at you at one time. And it can be very frustrating. But, you know, you got to do what you got to do and figure it out. But anyway, I appreciate you coming to this video, and, you know, leave your thoughts in the comments section. Let me know what you think about this situation. Like this video, share it, and please subscribe to the channel if you like Headfirst Fishing videos. Appreciate all the subscribers. And again, check out our sponsors, St. Pete Fishing Outfitters, Tampa Fishing Outfitters, and Tarpon Fishing Outfitters. I'll see you later.